What's going on, guys? Today I've got a battle between me and Chimpact from his live stream. He was taking viewer battles, so I decided to challenge him to VGC 2015. Some of you who have been subscribed to me for a little bit longer may recognize this team because I used it in a Showdown Live about a month ago. I decided to use it just because it's still by far my most consistent and sophisticated teams, just because I did receive some help on it from other VGC players who are a lot better than me. As Chimpact's going to bring this really nice and powerful Charizard Y team, nothing but threats on his team. So he decides to lead with Charizard and Heatran as I lead with Ludicolo and Terrakion. So obviously it's a pretty good lead matchup for me. I actually decided to go straight for the Ice Beam on the Charizard slot, predicting him to want to switch out into Landorus T, and I just go for the safe Rock Slide on Terrakion, but he actually switches out his Heatran into Landorus T, maybe expecting a close combat, which I guess makes sense, as he just goes for Protect with Charizard, so kind of a bad first turn for me because he gets his Landorus T in safely, and I really don't do any damage to him. So I switch out Terrakion, not wanting to take an Earthquake from him, as I decide to just switch out into Gyarados, get the Intimidate off, and I can also tank any hit that this Charizard wants to go for in case it does stay in. But it doesn't. He just switches out into his Cresselia, which is a fair play, and he just predicts me again and goes for U-turn on Ludicolo. So a really bad couple of turns for me, as I just go for the obvious play of Ice Beam. So here, he obviously doesn't want to mess around with my Ludicolo, go straight for the Overheat, so I take this opportunity to go for the Dragon Dance, which would have been helpful if his Cresselia didn't have Thunder Wave. So that's really devastating for me, so it's looking kind of grim for me at this point, so I have to step it up and start making some plays. So here, I decide to just go into my Terrakion, threaten his Charizard Y out so I can safely Mega Evolve and go for the Waterfall into the same slot, expecting his Landorus T to want to come in. So after this Rock Slide damage, even in the sun, the Waterfall is going to be able to take out his Landorus T. That's just how powerful Gyarados is. As he goes for the Ice Beam on my Gyarados with Cresselia, which I don't know what he was expecting. I don't know what he was predicting there. It literally hits nothing on my team. Or it might just be his only attacking move, which is what I figured at the time. So that's pretty good for me, knowing that he can't hit my Terrakion with a Psychic move. As he just brings out his Charizard again, as I decide to just go for Protect on Terrakion, expecting his Charizard to do the same. But just in case he predicted that, I just switched out my Gyarados into Talonflame, not wanting to risk a win condition. And this Talonflame is invested in bulk, so it can take any hit that Charizard wants to go for. As he tries to go for Thunder Wave on Terrakion, which is another reason why I went for Protect. So here, his Sun runs out, and I make a really ballsy play. I know he has Heatran in the back because he revealed it first turn, and what I wanted to do is force his Zard Y to have to face my Terrakion and Talonflame, and the only way I can do that is by killing his Pokemon in the back, because Zard Y is his win condition, because it's the only thing that can touch my Gyarados. So obviously he doesn't want to risk his win condition by staying in on Rock Slide. So I predict the switch into his Heatran and just go straight for the close combat onto it. And see, this is why you run Life Orb on Terrakion, because even after the Intimidate, I'm going to be able to OHKO his Heatran as it comes in. So that was a really huge play on my part, because now he's forced to risk his win condition against two Pokemon that it doesn't really do well against. And I'm not worried about this Cresselia because it can't really touch either of my Pokemon. It can really just go for Thunder Wave, which is kind of annoying for me, because now I have to make even more plays. As I just decided to go for Protect on Terrakion, not wanting to take a Solar Beam, as I just decided to go for Brave Bird from my Talonflame into the Charizard. The crit kind of mattered just because if I hadn't gotten the crits, it was a roll whether I 2-hit KO'd him or not, but now it's a guaranteed 2-hit KO, as he does indeed go for the Solar Beam. And he just decides to Thunder Wave my Talonflame. Not going to matter too much because I do carry the priority, obviously, Gale Wings. So I predict him to want to go for Protect here. I go for the safe Rock Slide anyway, as he gets damage on Talonflame. But I go for Will-O-Wisp once again on his Cresselia, trying to cripple it. And doesn't work out for me because I get paralyzed. Kind of annoying, but not too big of a deal. So now he's forced to take a Brave Bird from my Talonflame here, as that crit didn't matter. It would have killed anyway. As he goes for Moonlight on Cresselia. So now it's basically 3-on-1. My Terrakion, Talonflame, and Gyarados against his Cresselia, as I finally land the Will-O-Wisp here, getting that crucial residual damage. So it's pretty much good game because he cannot touch my Gyarados to save his life. So here I'm pretty much just waiting for something to die so I can safely bring in my Gyarados and end the game. Here I decided to go for Tailwind even though all my Pokemon are paralyzed, because I thought maybe I could outspeed his Cresselia after a Dragon Dance if I went for Tailwind. So that was my mentality behind that, as he just desperately tries to recover with Moonlight. Luckily that has a very limited amount of power points, I think it's only 8. As finally my Talonflame dies to recoil, I can safely bring in my Gyarados, and I think I just decided to go for Dragon Dance just so I'm doing more damage with the burn plus Waterfall, more than he can recover with Moonlight. As you're gonna see here, the Ice Beam does absolutely pitiful damage to my Gyarados, so that's pretty much good game. There's not much you can do about that. The burn is gonna finish him off, and that's going to be a good game. Gyarados being a really underrated Mega this season, despite it being the World Champion of 2014, really just coming through this battle. Now, people were saying that I was stream sniping during this battle, which isn't true, just because, first of all, the stream was lagging several seconds behind the actual battle. I will admit that I didn't have it muted, but I'm one of those players who just is tunnel visioned when I battle. I don't really listen to anything else. I really did not catch a single thing from the stream while I was battling. The only thing I caught was something, I think it was a Gator saying something about me not using Fake Out on Ludicolo. That was the only thing I caught. Like, why would I challenge Chimpact if I was just going to win unfairly? And besides, I got predicted the first couple turns in the battle, so if I had actually been stream sniping, I wouldn't have let that happen. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I mean, it's kind of frustrating, you know, if you win a battle fair and square and people just say, oh, stream snipe. Like, people were saying that the close combat play didn't make any sense, even though it made all the sense in the world if I actually wanted to win this battle. So yeah, that's that. I hope you enjoyed this battle, and if you did, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. And also, if you've just been living under a rock and haven't subscribed to Chimpact yet, you should definitely do so. His link will be in the description. Really great competitive player, great source for anything related to Smogon competitive battling, so make sure you subscribe to him also.